Faster Mike, good evening and welcome to the Manx Radio Folk Show with me, John Barker, playing you the best in folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and from all around the world. Here's a well-known hornpipe played by the late, great Willie Clancy. Well, that was Willie Clancy from the Pipe Ring of Willie Clancy Volume 2, which was released in 1983. I'm not sure when the actual track was recorded. Many of his recordings were done in the 50s, and he died in 1973. That hornpipe was the Harvest Home, and I was put in mind of that because of this next song, which also has a harvest theme. In fact, we're going to have a slightly harvest-themed first part of the show, appropriately so for this time of year. This is Reed Cutting by Christina, Alden and Alex Patterson.
We'll mark the end of summer days when the autumn starts to come. We'll rake and hoe, we'll dig and sow, and what's good for the back is good for the bones. We'll mark the end of summer days by the sound of the engine's call, and watch the ants make for their homes. What's good for the back is good for the bones. Oh, come reed cutting with me. Oh, come reed cutting with me. Slow, what's good for the back is good for the bones. We'll mark the end of summer days when the autumn starts to come. We'll rake and hoe, we'll dig and sow. What's good for the back is good for the bones. Oh, come reed cutting with me. Oh, come reed cutting with me. I sweep the ground, I rake the ground. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I sweep the ground, I rake the ground. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
that's the lovely sound of Christina, Alden and Alex Patterson from their album Hunter, which came out in 2021. And they are coming to play at the Institute next year. That's March the 22nd, Saturday, March the 22nd. Tickets aren't available yet. I'll let you know when they are. Also in March, we've got another really exciting gig to present to you. That's on Sunday the 9th of March. And that is Chris Drever, along with the great fiddle player Chris Stout. So that's certainly a gig not to be missed. So here's something from Chris Drever. This is Harvest Gypsies.
In October we will come, 150,000 strong. When the picking's over we'll be gone. They call us the Harvest Gypsies. We only came because we must. We were driven here by dust, and they won't even look at us. We're only Harvest Gypsies. Apricots in Santa Clare, in Cairn County they have apples there, and the grapes they're growing everywhere for the Harvest Gypsies. Child before San Fran. We're strangers they don't understand. We are the Harvest Gypsies. The hardest that it's ever been. Sold my blankets for gasoline. It's only hunger I have seen. Now I'm a Harvest Gypsy. The gondolas, the railway lines, filled with men when it is time, drawn by the orange and the lime, all the Harvest Gypsies. Squatter camps that they despise. Without us they would rot and die. Without the Harvest Gypsies. The Holbrooks, we were farming men. I dream one day I will again. To miss the soil's a curious pain when you're a Harvest Gypsy.
First thing in the morning, when the dew still crowns the grass, we'll send the Jill to cut the ferns and carry them in her arms, to bring the harvest home, bring the harvest home. The people will come to gather the plums and bring the harvest home. The finest trees in Cornwall along the river stand, the key plums of Cowlands and Coombe where water meets the land. The boughs hang overburdened where blossom once did grow. They'll come to shake the trees into the boats that wait below, to bring the plums and bring the harvest home. When the boats are laden and the orchards all lie bare, we'll take the plums into the house to sort and count them there. In casts of 5 we'll count them as the light is fading now. 21 casts for 100 of plums from the deep and bosky far. Bring the harvest home, bring the harvest home. The people will come to gather the plums and bring the harvest home. Line the baskets with the ferns to keep the plums from harm, and with songs and music through the night, we'll bring the harvest home, bring the harvest home. The people will come to gather the plums and bring the harvest home. Bring the harvest home, bring the harvest home. People will come to gather the plums and bring the harvest home. Bring the harvest home. Bring the harvest home. The people will come to gather the plums and bring the harvest home.
That was Bring the Harvest Home, and that was by Richard Trethewey, the Cornish singer and musician who led the Cornish contingent at Incruniac this year. Is from his very fine album Two Halves. And before that was Chris Drever with The Harvest Gypsies. That's really the end of our harvest-themed part of the show. But if you missed it, the exciting news is that Chris Drever is appearing at the Institute along with fiddle player Chris Stout on March the 9th next year. And the track before that was by Christina, Alden and Alex Patterson, who are appearing at the Institute on March the 22nd next year. So lots of great music to look forward to there. There's also some very exciting gig news which is much more imminent. Exactly a month tonight, on Friday the 8th of November, Jez Lowe is appearing at the Institute in Laxey. Tickets are available for that right now. The following night there is Levant du Nord at the Centenary Centre. I think that might be sold out now. But some brand new news is that before all that, on Wednesday the 30th of October, Steve Knightley, he of Show of Hands, is appearing at the Erin Arts Centre. And I'm sure tickets will fly out for that gig as well. Anyway, let's carry on with the music now. And staying with nature, here's Hazel Tree by Paul Armfield from his EP Trees.
In the shadow of the oak, the dormouse from its sleep awoke, and opening up a drowsy eye, it spoke. It said, "There's nothing in my tiny gut. My stomach thinks its throat's been cut. Needs me a hazelnut to go." It looked up at the hazel tree and said, "Send me down, Filbert, please. Needs me dinner, lunch and tea all at once." because I've been asleep 6 months or so, and so I haven't got all day, you know. So just hurry up. And the hazel said, you cheeky sod, you'll have to wait. You know, we're only at the start of May, and our next due delivery date is not until September. 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 The dormouse said, oh bugger that, and you're my natural habitat. So surely you've got something else, some other tasty morsel just for me. And the hazel said, wind your neck in muscadin. My patience now is wearing thin. I've told you I've got nothing in, not until September. Oh, but their copies sing for hurdles, staffs, and there's insects in them piles of brush, and the honeysuckle, bramble ash, the fruits and seeds are plenty till September. 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 September, the 14th of September, that's Nutting Day.
I love that track, it's great, isn't it? Such lovely but funny lyrics. And that was by Paul Armfield from his Trees EP. I think he's from the Isle of Wight. Now on BBC4 recently they've been showing some folk programmes, and there was a Martin Carthy concert. I'm sure it's still on iPlayer somewhere. It's really worth watching. It must be from 15 or 20 years ago. And he does a wonderful solo version of Prince Heathen as well. So here is that song by Martin Carthy, along with Dave Swarbrick, from the album Prince Heathen, in fact, of 1969. And it's quite a long one, this. Just think of it as the filling in the middle of tonight's folk sandwich.
Stands in a garden fair, sewing a silken seam, and by and come this Prince Heathen, and he vowed her love he'd gain. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true, I never yet you heathen dog, and never shall for you. She turned her around and aloud did cry, begone, I love not you. And then he vowed him Prince Heathen that she would weep full sore. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true, I never yet you heathen dog, and never shall for you. So he's laid her all on the ground, between himself and the wall, and there he stripped her of her will, and a maidenhead and all. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true, I never yet you heathen dog, and never shall for you. Oh, I killed your father in his bed, and your mother by his side, and 7 brothers one by one I drowned them in the tide. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true, I never yet you heathen dog, and never shall for you. in a vault of stone with 30 locks upon, and meat nor drink you'll never get till your baby it is born. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true. Oh, never yet your heathen dog, and never shall for you. So he's laid her in a vault of stone with 30 locks upon, and he's taken the key in his right hand, to the mountain he has gone. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true. Oh, never yet your heathen dog, and never shall for you. Heathen he from the mountains came with his merry men all in a line, and he sought out this pretty young girl all down in a vault of stone. Oh, how do you do, and do you weep? Lady, tell me true. Oh, never weeping heathen dog, but dying here for you. Oh, meat nor drink you'll never get, nor out of prison come. Oh, meat nor drink you'll never get till your baby it is born. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true. Oh, never yet your heathen dog, and never shall for you. Time came on, and further on in labour there she lay. She laboured up and she laboured down, but lighter she could not be. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true. Oh, never yet your heathen dog, and never yet for you. So he's taken her all on the green, and his merry men stood all around. And how they laughed and how they mocked as she brought forth her son. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true. Oh, never yet your heathen dog, and never shall for you. A drink, this young girl cries, all from Prince Heathen's hand. Oh, never a drop, Prince Heathen cries, till ye wrap up your son. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Oh, lend to me a silken shawl, or a blanket, or a sheet, that I may wrap this little baby that lies in my arms asleep. Oh lady, will you weep for me? You an old horse blanket to wrap him head and feet, and there she took it in her hand, so bitter she did weep. Oh lady, do you weep for me? Lady, tell me true. Oh, never yet your heathen dog, and never now for you. Could you not give any better thing than a horse blanket and a sheet, to wrap and swaddle your own young son that lies in my arms asleep? Up so very soft, he's borne her up so slow. He's laid her all in a soft green bed, so dear he loved her now. Oh lady, will you weep for me? Lady, tell me true. Oh, never yet your heathen dog, and never shall for you.
Now let's have some tunes now. These are the Shetland Reels by Amy Laurenson. She's a pianist from Shetland, growing up surrounded by classical music whilst connecting with the traditional music of her homeland. She's developed a style which ebbs and flows between traditional, classical and jazz influence. And her new album is called Strands. Fantastic piano playing there by Amy Laurenson. Now, the other week, there was a text message into the studio during the show from someone saying that they'd really enjoyed the opening song, I think it was Molly Tuttle, and making a request. Now, I'm sorry I didn't get to do that because I record these shows in advance, and in fact, at the moment, I'm recording them about a week in advance because I'm expecting to go on holiday any day soon, and I don't want to leave you for a couple of weeks without any music. You're very welcome to text into the studio, or even better, email folkshow@manxradio.com to request a track. Anyway, this request was for Buffalo Skinners by Woodie Guthrie. So if you're listening, here it is.
Come all you old-time cowboys and listen to my song. Please do not grow weary, I'll not detain you long. Concerning some wild cowboys who did agree to go spend a summer pleasant on the trail of the buffalo. Found myself in Griffin in the spring of '83 when a well-known famous drover come a-walking up to me. Said, how do you do, young fellow? Well, how'd you like to go spend a summer pleasant on the trail of the buffalo? Well, I being out of work right then to the drover I did say, going out on the buffalo road depends upon your pay. If you pay good wages, transportation to and fro, think I might go with you on the hunt of buffalo. Of course I'll pay good wages and transportation too, if you'll agree to work for me until the season's through. But if you do get homesick and you try to run away, you'll starve to death out on the trail and also lose your pay. Well, with all his flattering talking, he signed up quite a train, some 10 or 12 in number, some able-bodied men. Our trip, it was a pleasant one as we hit the westward road, till we crossed old Boggy Creek in old New Mexico. There our pleasures ended and our troubles all began. A lightning storm, it hit us and made the cattle run. Got all full of stickers from the cactus that did grow. Outlaws watching to pick us off in the hills of Mexico. Well, our working season ended and the drover would not pay. You hadn't drunk too much, you're all in debt to me. But the cowboys never had heard such a thing as a bankrupt law. So we left that drover's bones to bleach on the plains of the buffalo.
So that was Woodie Guthrie with Buffalo Skinners. Perhaps a song some people wouldn't feel very comfortable singing these days, but the great Woodie Guthrie was a champion of human rights, and I'm sure he would have understood the different nuances of that song. After all, the buffalo was slaughtered unnecessarily across the US, mostly to deprive the Native Americans of their main food source and to drive them into submission. That's the thing with folk songs, isn't it? Some topics from the past do seem rather uncomfortable these days. One such topic is whaling, and there are many great whaling songs. But I know I avoid singing whaling songs myself. But that doesn't detract from great recordings of the past. And I'm going to play The Humpback Whale by Nick Jones from the seminal album Penguin Eggs of 1980. Do get in touch to let me know what you think about this aspect of folk song. I think there's a really interesting conversation to be had.
'56 I sailed on board a ship called Byron One. She's carried trawler men on deck and a harpoon whaling gun. Oh, you trawler men, come on, forget your snapper and your prawn, for it's out of Ballina we'll sail, fishing for the humpback whale. Tractor for a whale winch, and the ship's an old Fairmile. Twin diesels turn the screws around, she'll whale in a fine old style. Oh, you trawler men, come on, forget your snapper and your prawn, for it's out of Ballina we'll sail, fishing for the humpback whale. Keep a sharp lookout, me lads, the whale, he's on the run, and we'll drive him into Byron Bay, and we'll shoot him with our guns. Oh, you trawler men, come on, forget your snapper and your prawn, for it's out of Ballina we'll sail, fishing for the humpback whale. Harpoon and the line fly through very deep into the whale. She split the timbers of the ship with a flurry of her tail. Oh, you trawler men, come on, forget your snapper and your prawn, for it's out of Ballina we'll sail, fishing for the humpback whale. Rigging struts are snapped in two, we reel beneath the blow, the gunner fires the killer shot, and that humpback's sent below. Oh, you trawler men, come on, forget your snapper and your prawn, for it's out of Ballina we'll sail, fishing for the humpback whale. Make her tail fast to the bows, we got no time for bed. For 24 hours each day, we kept that factory fed. Oh, you trawler men, come on, forget your snapper and your prawn, for it's out of Ballina we'll sail, fishing for the humpback whale. Cleansing men upon the land, some had been jackaroos, they skinned the blubber from the whales like they're skinning kangaroos. Oh, you trawler men, come on, forget your snapper and your prawn, for it's out of Ballina we'll sail, fishing for the humpback whale. 100 whales and then 50 more through the factory we did send, and then the orders came, knock off me lads, your season's at an end. Oh, you trawler men, come on, forget your snapper and your prawn, for it's out of Ballina we'll sail, fishing for the humpback whale. Back into Ballina we steered, tied up and stowed the gear, all hands headed for the pub, and we filled ourselves with beer. Oh, you trawler men, come on, forget your snapper and your prawn, for it's out of Ballina we'll sail, fishing for go the humpback way.
Beth Malcolm has a new album coming out soon. It's called Folkmosis, and there is one track available on Bandcamp right now. It's her second album, and she says it's her musical coming of age, one that has been writing itself since before she could speak. The album's in 3 acts. The first one, rooted in the traditional music. Act 2 follows her rejection years when she dove into the voices of Amy Winehouse, Paolo Nutini and London Grammar. And then Act 3 is her coming of age, her coming home to the songs and sounds of Scotland as a now grown woman.
Killed my hawks and queen, my dear mother, I killed my hawks and queen, and I hadn't married you. I killed my hawks and queen, my dear mother, I killed my hawks and queen, and I hadn't married you. Your hawk's blow was never city to your Edward. Your hawk's blow was never city to some of the do you through. Your hawk's blow was never city to your Edward. Your hawk's blow was never city, so will it do you through. I killed by the throne state, my dear mother, I killed by the throne state, and it wasn't fair to see you. I killed by the throne state, my dear mother, I killed by the throne state, and it wasn't fair to see you. Your steed was all that you got me, young Edward. Your steed was all that you got me, so will it do you through. Your steed was all that you got me. My dear mother, I killed my father deed, and the last it was me. I killed my father deed, my dear mother, I killed my father deed, and the last it was me.
A long time ago now, I played you a different version of the song Spencer the Rover each week for several weeks. And there's a new version has just come out by Jim Murray as a single, so here it is.
Composed by Spencer the Rover, who travelled round England and most parts of Wales. He had been much reduced, which caused great confusion, and that was the reason he started to roam. In Yorkshire, near Rotherham, he being on his ramble. Of travelling, he sat down to rest. By the foot of yon mountain there runs a clear fountain. With bread and cold water he himself did refresh, and it tasted much sweeter than the gold he had wasted, sweeter than honey, and it gave more content. But the thought of his children lamenting their father brought tears to his eyes, and it made him lament. The night fast approaching, to the woods he resorted, with woodbine and ivy his bed for. He thought about sighing, lamenting and crying. Go home to your family and rambling the same. On the 5th day of November I have reason to remember. First he arrived home to his family and wife. They stood so surprised when first he arrived, and welcomed this stranger once more. Gathered round him with brittle battling stories to drive cares away. Well, now they're united like birds of one feather, like bees in one hive, contented they'll stay.
Another great version of Spencer the Rover, this time by Jim Murray. Music happening around the Isle of Man this week? Well, it's the usual sessions and such like. So Wednesday night, O'Donnell's session, Thursday night, the Folk Club in Ramsey, Friday night session in the Mitre in Ramsey, and there will be a Sunday afternoon session. But I'm recording this in advance, so I'm not quite sure where it is yet. Going to finish with some Manx music. This is Scammelt, which was a short-lived band featuring Katie Lawrence, Russell Cowan and Mike Reaney on guitar. And appropriate enough for the last track of the show, this is called Farewell. I'll be back next week to play more great folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and from all around the world. I'll see you then.